think I found the problem and why I kept having blue screens. So I've run an analysis of a dump file, like a full-on blue screen memory dump file, and it blames Node. Might not be Node's fault, but it blames Node. Within Windows, well, within the Ubuntu environment in WSL, essentially saying something that, you know, along the lines of it's doing something that it shouldn't be, and you know, there's a stack-based buffer, and what's it saying? The system detected an overrun of a stack-based buffer in this application. This overrun could potentially allow a malicious user to gain control of this application. So it killed the app and then blue screened. So I had a momentary panic. I thought, well, that sounds terrible. Ran a full virus scan, obviously. Nothing. Came up with absolutely nothing. And then thought, well, maybe it's just a buggy version of Node. So I'll close that debug thing down. So I've gone through and upgraded Node.js on this box from version 8.10.0, like not even a bug fix release, up to 12.10. And all I was using Node for actually was, let me just show you, running a local test server. Wasn't doing anything particularly arduous. Curious. Just check that that's definitely. If I kill the server, yeah, that doesn't load anymore, and it's not until, yeah, so nothing loads. And then once that's done compiling and running and setting up the Node web server, it loads. So we've bumped from version Node.js 8.10.nothing to 12.10.nothing, and hopefully that will be the end of the strange blue screens that we were having. On the upside, I figured out a neat way to debug blue screens. I'd never come across it before, but there's I don't think it was this page. Oh, sorry, I've been on so many pages. No, it wasn't that one. I don't think it was that one. Or that one. Alright, so I've since closed the page. That's not particularly useful, but essentially there's this Windows debug tool for loading up memory dump files, and I used that. Took a moment or two to open it. It's like a 2 or 3 meg memory dump, and it pointed at that Node.js application. So hopefully that's the blue screens over and done with. That was quite an exciting sidetrack. Can't remember what I was doing though. We close some of this stuff. I feel like I've done this already today. Yeah, I've definitely done this already today. And then we were in Cruncher, weren't we? We were crunching something. Crunchy was occurring. Yeah, that was right. We were getting rid of that was all we were doing. We were just trying to get rid of these little useless descriptions saying how many numbers you got crunched. Let's check where we are. Yeah, we were in the branch for today's bug fixes. Let's have a look at git diff. Yeah, and the only one I've kept is the one that's actually based on, in this case, a constant, but the rest of them were just horrible hard-coded incorrect values. Okay, so git commit, and we removed, wait, what were they called? Misleading max digit sentences. All right, let's push those up. So why did I do that? Was there must have been a ticket for that, right? This one. So I partially fixed it, number 29. And we can say Oh, you know what? I just committed and pushed something without testing it. That's pretty bold. Some might say reckless. And we think it's fixed in PR42. So now that's loaded. Where are we? Refresh this. Go back to the cruncher. Type. Yeah, okay. So we can see that that doesn't have any of those erroneous sentences. Don't need this. Close and comment. Yes. Great. That can go back up to issues. Right, we're down to 10. 10 issues remaining. Not going to fix that today. That's a CloudFormation bug. Be a bit boring to watch me write a CloudFormation file. Not going to worry about that. What's this? Can't handle 16 digits if you enter hex numbers. So is this to do with primality checker? Something like that? Wow, it accepts hexadecimal numbers. Can't handle 16 digits if you enter hex numbers. Okay, and we're saying up to 16 digits. Up to but not including. Is that a bug? Is that misleading? I don't know. Been able to replicate. So I now have been able to replicate it. So I guess we can say replicated here. Replicated in the, oh that's horrible, in the top tool here. Comment. No, don't, not localhost. No one's going to be able to get to that. Let's go along to the real big primes. Yeah, primality test. Yeah. This. Am I going to fix it now? Probably not. Okay, so what have we got? What have we got left to fix? Is that an open bug? I thought we fixed that. Steps to reproduce. It's been fixed, right? So if I go here and click previous 100 prime numbers, which, you know, I don't, it says back to first prime numbers. So this is fixed. That issue is done. What else have we got? So these two probably going to be reasonably easy. So this URL, let's close some of this other stuff. Yeah, so perfect. Simple enough. Let's load that up locally so we don't confuse ourselves. Okay, yeah, perfect. What about them? Fix all the hard-coded HTML. Oh, this is probably one of those embarrassingly bad files, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty poor. One of these other files, maybe it's Mazen. Yeah, it is Mazen. So we've got this doing some vectors. So instead of hard-coded HTML, we've got vectors with the data in. We've got this nice render function. I'm going to take a copy of this actually. Let's take this across to here. See if we can get rid of all of this. I'm going to call it noise because what is it? It's like 1,000 lines? No, 400 lines of just noise. So we've got HTML. This is not. Oh, that what even happened there? No. I just replace all occurrences. No. We've got something called Mazen utils. I think we want to change that as well. Yeah, get used to the shortcut, shouldn't I? Control F2. Perfect. Utils. Great. Ditch that. These have... Yeah, these have downloads as well. Get these links working as they should. The end, so that's the rank. Then we've got something a bit more complicated going on here. I like that. Might be worth leaving that as a hard-coded bit of HTML. Possibly. Then we've got the digits, which there. So I'm just gonna add some notes to this. So rank, perfect number as a small formula. Then this is digits in length. Discovery. And this is, I mean, this one's fairly clear that it's the downloads because it says zip and text and things. Okay, so we've got perfect utils. That actually should be a module. Is it as simple as that? It might just be as simple as that. I guess I can check, right? What have we got going on here? Yeah, so if we're doing a module, and of course we want that module to be publicly accessible, or do we? Let's leave it private for the moment. And we're probably going to want to do some stuff with some large numbers, which we can worry about a bit later. So instead, you just take a copy of one of these. So we're going to want a perfects function. Something I haven't been doing and I really should have been doing before today is using structs. That's the right thing. Rather than what we've ended up on with the other page, we've ended up with two different set of vectors. I think because one contains numerics, one contains strings, but actually what we really want is Rust struct. So they've created a struct with two fields. I'm just gonna borrow the example. So I guess this struct is actually a perfect, and it's gonna be made of several different things. We are gonna want the, what are we gonna want? I guess we'd probably do this the same way that we did with them as ends. So we're going to want a discovery date, and we're going to want the perfect. So let's go with the P, the digits, and I'm going to say discovery. And the discovery is going to be a string. So how do you do a borrowed string? Is that just, no, is it string? Could be, that feels like probably wrong. Let's try that. Let's try that. Do we want that to be floating point? There. Let's start off with, let's go with an easy U64. And digits are never going to be 64-bit. That's like, oh, let's just keep everything as 64-bit. Let's do that. Okay, let's deal with the first syntax error. As I also realise I should have probably committed a little while ago as well, but that's fine. We can, maybe the first commit can be a bit on the large side. Discovery. What is this? Missing lifetime identifier. So it might be as simple as that. Go back to, we had a Rust by example page open. wonder if they've got a nice example. Yeah, look at this. What's this? So they've got just copy it exactly. If the error goes away, it doesn't. So that's because up here they've specified. I feel like that should error, but it doesn't. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to take the struct out just whilst we commit. I don't want to do a search. Git commit. Let's see what we're committing. Just the one file? Yeah, perfect. Begin rewrite, refactor. I mean, can you call it a refactor if you're going from a giant string to actually meaningful code? Sure. Begin refactor of render function. It's all technically true. Then we can say we've added a struct. We're not using it. Git commit. Now that I'm sure of what I'm committing, added perfect struct, which is true. We did. Now I think it would be neat to be able to specify that instead of this being a vector, how can I use one of these structs within? How do I use one? That's my question, I think. And why can't I search on this page? It's like it's capturing the. Of course, they're not going to have the thing I want. Okay, so when they call it like this. So we're going to want, I think. Let's just put something in there. To see if it works. Ditch that. So this is going to be a vector of persons. And we'll be returning. Well, okay, let's just deal with this one error. Cannot find struct, variant, or union type person in this scope. So is that because I probably need to bring perfect into the scope of this module, the perfect utils module? Just seeing your message in chat. Just catching up with it, Peapox. Using Rust over the last couple of days to... Oh, you made Tetris. Documentation for most crates is garbage. Well, yeah, I gotta say that's true. Cool. I'm glad you've had some fun. Have you got anything on GitHub? Anything we can look at on stream? Which is a point actually. It probably won't let you post a link to GitHub. But let me know what your just do user / repo, and I can find you on GitHub. Or if you're not on GitHub, if you're on something else, let us know. Oh yeah, I was trying to move this. So we're trying to move this structure into the right place. Cannot find struct, variant, or union type person in this scope. What if? I really don't think we need to do this, but worth a try. Yeah, you're not going to show your code to anyone. Okay, fine. Maybe you can help me debug this. I'm quite confused at the moment. We've got a struct, great. Everyone's celebrating that. I just can't use it. Failed to resolve use of undeclared type or module perfect utils. So that feels like it probably should go away. I also wonder if we're maybe not getting. Let's do a cargo build. It'll error, right? But at least we can then go back through these errors. First one. Previous definition of the value render here. Oh yeah, because I've got two render functions. I should call the old one like render old. I'm going to do that. Render old. Then it will complain saying, hey, you've got a render old function that never gets called, but that's fine. At least that'll be in yellow. Let's go like full debug. Previous definition of the value render is here. I thought I just fixed that. I definitely did. Did I scroll too far? I scrolled too far. I was looking at the old set. In vector macro, you declare person struct. Isn't it supposed to be the struct above? It has another name. Hang on. Let's go back up to where. So your message was in vector macro. So here, we declare the person struct. Yeah, shouldn't it be like new? Is that it's supposed to be the struct above? Hang on. Struct person, struct perfect. I don't know what you mean. You may be 100% right. We've got 0, 0, and then a string. Not sure. I'm going to keep going with this for a second. Expected identifier. While passing this struct, expected identifier. Is this because I didn't specify? Do I have to do like as u64 or something? Oh, that's what do you know? That's probably a no. I'm not even sure that's valid Rust actually. I've just made that up. It still says expected identifier. What does it mean by identifier? That's not a type. Or is it? I can't. That's not valid Rust. Me just typing stuff. No. Yeah, I mean, my struct is named perfect, but when you instantiate a struct named person, I do. Oh wow. Oh, that's terrible on my part. Thank you. Perfect. Persect. Perfect. Thank you very much. Now let's see what error we've got. Perfect. Perfect. So we get a good error. Get quite a few errors, don't we? 6. Oh well, thank you, Peapox. That was embarrassingly bad. So we've still got another error. Missing fields, digits, discovery, and P in initiate. Is that because I now need to specify going back to here? Structure, perfect. Expected type, vector usize. So I think that's to do with this. So we've got a vector containing a perfect. So I think this is probably meant to say perfect, and it's probably meant to have that. You've got a sharp eye, have you? In other words, you see sharp. Excellent. Excellent. The Bantsmobile is out and rolling. Oh, what did I do? I did something wrong, did I? Use of undeclared lifetime. Well, fine. How about that? Missing lifetime specifier. Well, which is it? Okay. Use of undeclared lifetime name. So this might be, this is definitely another limitation in my Rust knowledge. So we want to we want to say that we're returning a vector that contains a perfect. Okay, Google is our friend again. Let's take the exact error message and also run cargo build again. This comes back with a undeclared lifetime, not found in perfect utils. Okay, so that error above is nothing to do with our current trouble. Guess actually, you know what? I'm just going to note that one out for a second. In fact, let's just note most of the stuff out that's erroring, and then we'll get a cargo build that's more useful. Found 0. Now you expected an identifier. Does that mean you expected a variable? Because I kind of don't want to give you a variable, I kind of just want to specify something. I guess here they're specifying. Let's have a little Google. Right. So Rust struct, and doubt we're going to find the exact variable name. Found keyword type. Experiment found keyword. Use language keywords as identifiers. Let's just see where we start off with at the top. Oh, it's a bug report. You know what? Let's just read the manual. Right. Defining and instantiating structs. Yes, please. We've got something like that. Yep, we've done that. Let user1 equals user. And then they're specifying stuff. So how are we... Oh, and then they've specified... that's probably what it means by identifier, right? So does that mean I have to do that and then the first error goes away? The first error goes away. Okay. Rinse and repeat. I feel like those should be optional. Probably a really solid language reason for that, actually. What if you can have a little experiment? What if I specify them in the incorrect order? Huh. Okay, well that's that then. It's perfectly happy to receive them in any order. That makes sense. Right, so then we're back to this one remaining error. So undeclared lifetime. Undeclared lifetime. So vector struct and then undeclared lifetime. Let's see if this just accidentally gets gold. Let's see. My understanding of the error is that because line 8, so their example, that's not a relevant example, unfortunately. Don't think that's a relevant example either. Okay, undeclared lifetime name. Okay, what if we don't have missing lifetime identifier? Okay, so it clearly needs a lifetime identifier. Then it's probably got an issue with this A, I guess. So we're returning use of undeclared lifetime name. We've already established it needs the A. Undetermined character literal, yeah, we've established that. Undeclared lifetime. Don't think this is it, but let's just... Do I need to specify... I mean, that's a borrowed. So in their case, they've got an item, which we can't see. We can. Permutation iterator T. I can't believe that's interesting. So now it's happy with that, but expected one of the following. Comma, a larger than symbol. Okay, so that's essentially saying expected another variable if you were going to go down that route. Undeclared lifetime. Do I need to specify that it's a string? No, this doesn't. That's not valid, Rust. Don't know why I'm doing that. I don't think it will be that because I think it put an error about borrowing. Expected type. Really? Can't. Feels like way more information than we would normally provide. Expected type. But found. Well, how else do you specify the type? I'm going to go back to this. Just check I'm not doing something super daft. I mean, I'm doing something super daft here. Peak problem. I quite like that. No quick fixes available. Cool. Well, I tried to find a quick fix. Lifetimes of references inside structures. That's the sort of thing we want. And let's hope this is about Rust. Yeah, so they've got the same thing. Yes. Okay. So what are they doing? Okay, so what do they do with this pixel thing? Yeah, they just do that. All right, let's try. What if we were just returning perfect, right? What if we weren't returning a vector with a perfect? I feel like that then just started erroring here. Not quite sure why. Oh, because now we're returning something different. We're not returning a vector that you can run a length on. Interesting. Okay. Use of undeclared lifetime. So that made precisely 0 difference. So I'm going to put all that back. I feel like once I understand this, those three or four words, use of undeclared lifetime, those 4 words are going to be so obvious what it means, but it's not like we're not using it. We're using it here. Okay. This is the problem they have. I need to declare my lifetime somewhere outside of the function. Oh, this is update. It's impossible. Really? We start from RFC, which discusses generic associated types with implications of stream iterator. Introduced the idea of type. Next is a piece of working code I want to soak into in the next article. Okay, so you've got another article, have you? Well, George, I'd love to hear more about this. when did you write your... I'm going to go back. When did you write your article? You wrote it the 6th of May. If we scoot down to the 6th of May... This person writes... George writes a lot of articles, doesn't he? He is a very articulate person, shall we say. Okay, so this was that. Then they've got... Okay, is this the continuation or is this the same article? Let's just skip to the end. They removed mute. Well, we're not using mute. When something is impossible in a system... In a system's... Is that programming language? Yeah, it seems unlikely that it's impossible, right? In this case, they're specifying... What is that? I've never seen this syntax before. So they've got a function and they're returning... I should probably know what imp means in Rust. That's something else I need to figure out. They're returning an iterator struct, or maybe it's not a struct because IMPL might mean something quite different. And they're doing what we're doing, except they're also specifying item equals. They're setting something to something else within a return definition. That doesn't mean a lot to me. Unused I. Well... Oh, someone's Googled for me. Grey Git has Googled for me. Quite a lengthy message. So thinking about using lifetime parameters that haven't been initialized generically as opposed to purely in the context of struct definitions. Okay, so this isn't a struct definition, I guess, because we're doing it as part of the return definition. Two simplest cases are if inside a struct definition, suggest adding the lifetime parameter after the struct's name, which we did. We've done that on line 5. If inside a freestanding function, which we are, suggest adding the lifetime parameter after the function's name, which we've... Oh. We haven't done. So... I mean... What, like that? Is that a thing? Go in here somewhere? It's not an argument. Is it there? Well, that upset it even more. Huh. Now that's curious. We might be on something here, and I wonder if this struct needs to become... Struct public? Is that a thing? Huh. Thanks, Greg. You solved it. With a Google. And a very good Google at that. Your Google foo is extremely strong. Now I should try and understand why. Why this solves it. And what this might mean for when we call perfects. So if I bring these back. In fact, I'll leave that one out for a second, but if I were to bring these back. No rules expecting token. Let's just know that last one out. Oh, it's because I've put an extra T in there and missed it. Okay, we're still erroring. Why are we still erroring? Oh, I see. We're still erroring because this is probably expecting. Is it going to be .p? Is that no? Because p would be a function. So how do we access? Yeah, maybe it is .p. Maybe that is correct. So we're getting the nth perfect. Field p of struct pages archive perfect perfects utils. Perfect is private, of course it is. So does that mean I need to specify pub on each of these? Hit save, see what that does. Oh, that's really cool. Oh, I quite like that. So within a struct, each individual part of that struct can be private or public. Okay, so perfect number and digits in length. So this we can change to dot digits. Is it digits? Digits, yeah. And that should get rid of that error. I feel like this is a good time to commit because we probably build without error now. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, let's commit this. What are we saying we've done? We are saying fact. Let's have a look at git log, see what kind of magic's in there. Oh, because the last thing I did was just added perfect struct. Git commit m using perfect struct within perfects vector. Cool, and let's push that. Okay, we've been streaming now for 42 minutes, and I haven't had any blue screens. So I think that original node problem at the beginning of the I spoke about at the very beginning of the stream. I think that node upgrade solved our blue screens. Let's hope I haven't just jinxed it. Even though that's not a thing in software. Okay, so oh yeah, this I should have got rid of this. So instead of using perfects discovery dates, we can just say perfects, and then we're getting the nth perfect number. Dot. Was it date? Was it discovery? Discovery. Let's hit save on that. Hopefully that'll perfect utils. Let's just change that to. That's interesting. So in this case, it doesn't seem to need me to specify the module. It's quite happy just referencing. Ah, because this specifies the module. Right, of course. Ppox, just reading your message. Rust C highlights all the output in every possible terminal. But everything's fine on my side. Rust C highlights all the output in every possible terminal that you can try, but everything's fine. When you say it highlights the output, what do you mean by highlights the output? As in, it literally gives all the text a background color. You're going to post a picture. Okay, cool. Cool. Beware, when you post a picture, I'm not sure what automod's going to do. You link to something, you might not need to, like, you might have to make it not a link, otherwise, no, maybe it'll just send you a warning, I don't know. We'll figure it out, we'll find out what it does. No, I haven't had that. I haven't had that at all. So is that on Windows or is that on Linux? Or is it Linux on Windows or is it running within a VM? But to answer your question, I haven't run into it. Okay. We could, you know what? let's try. Maybe it's early days, but why don't we actually try running this? Probably close some of this now. Yeah, I think we nailed structures. Yes, we're on the perfect page. So we're expecting all of this to disappear when I hit refresh. Okay, so now we're getting not a lot. Not a lot at all. So now we are getting... Well, first of all, that says Mazen numbers, so that's wrong. Yeah, so it got upset about you posting a link. Cool. Alright, I'm just going to load that up on my phone. Oh, I see. That is kind of weird. Hang on. I'm just going to... if I switch to the streaming app that I'm using, sorry, and then click on the... Oh, it's just got rid of all of your messages. Oh well, I won't load up the image. It's fine. But yeah, I see what you mean. That's kind of strange, isn't it? It has highlighted all of your output. Never seen that before. That's in Ming. Hang on a minute. So you're running... hang on. So this isn't actually running Linux, is it? This is going to be running... yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean. I forget the name of the app. Like Ming 64 or something, isn't it, on Windows, and it lets you run a few things. Generally, I've used Ming on Windows quite a bit, and I would just recommend not doing it. Just find some other way, particularly now that we've got you know, Ubuntu and WCL and all of, or WCL being, you know, available on WSL being available. I'd just use that as much as possible. Same happens on the prompt. Really? But are those both Windows as well? Like what if you were doing this inside of an actual container or virtual machine? Like in here. Yeah, I would recommend trying out WSL. I have no idea how to fix that on Windows or why that's happening. It's odd. So I've got a feeling that we need to add another one of these. I didn't mean to do that. I meant to go to Windows, refresh. Then we'll have to recompile. Okay, well that now does something. So I guess we can make a choice at this point. We could choose to add, so we could just put a faux entry, so that, you know what, actually, maybe we don't need a faux entry. Maybe we could, instead of having a false entry, we could just say, we could add an extra variable here, right? Pub n. I really don't think it needs to be U64. I'm going to start off with it being U64, and then I think we should try and make some of these numbers a bit smaller. Okay, so n can start off with 1. Let's just see if that compiles. It does. I didn't mean compile. Let's see if its syntax is okay. Yeah, going back to your question about Rust on Windows, so I started off running Rust directly on Windows way back. I say way back, it wasn't that long ago, months. And it was just painful. So Linux on Windows is the way to go, or Linux on Linux, or just Mac, or I don't know, programming on Windows is a bit painful. Okay, so now why is that happening? Oh, because my for loop is designed 0 to 1. Yeah, I think we want to shift that down. So now, yeah, So now instead of starting at the second entry, that should start at the first entry. Let's recompile again. It's a bit premature with the clicking. Nothing. I'll add a couple just to verify that it does something. We're on localhost. We're not on. We're not remote. Well, that's interesting. So n is in 0. N starts off as, oh, okay, a couple of things. What is going on here? N.toString. So instead of that, why don't we specify perfects n dot n? Perfects n dot n. If that first line is happy. I'm not sure it is. So in this case, mismatch expected and string, but found struct string string. Oh, is that because I did that? So we'll make it borrowed. That'll probably get rid of that problem. Yes, it will. And then we can replace all of that. Hit save. And I think we can also replace that. Except I don't need it to be borrowed. Yeah, no, that seems to be okay. Seems to be okay. Let's run that. Still only one entry. Doing something wrong. Oh, it's probably actually I don't need this -1 now, of course. Oh, didn't mean to click on status. Recompile. I wonder if I can get it so that when it detects a change I don't have to recompile, it automatically does that. That would be pretty neat. Okay, now that's displaying 2 when we have 2. So let's make that n equals 2. Sorry, just gonna adjust my headset a bit. Just realizing I haven't really moved for the last 2 hours. I should probably have a stretch. If I wasn't midstream, I'd probably get up and walk around. So, where are we at? So, HTML push. Hang on a minute. So we've got the struct working. We just need to put some useful data in it now. Cool. So let's have a look at a git diff. So we've added n equals 64. I said I was going to try making that smaller, which I'll try and do in a second. Fine. Okay. Let's commit this. Do a search for the word commit actually, and then I don't have to type it. We have added nth. Is it nth? To the nth entry to the perfect struct and updated usage. Yeah, looks good to me. Push that. I mean, now comes the fun bit, right? Now we've got all of this to convert. I feel like some super awesome regex will save us here, because I am not manually copying, cutting and pasting 5 different elements of 50 different entries, much as I just love to. And there'll be some, you know, some scrolling in there as well. Okay, so we've got this raw HTML, and we want to convert it so that it appears as kind of this. Let's have a look. So use regular expressions. Yes. So what do we want to do? We want to find probably tr/n space open td. Okay. And then we're going to want to find anything from 1 to 50. So this is going to be 0 to 9 plus. I think it's plus in there will give us more than 1 if it finds more than 1. Then we are closing the TD. Let's try this first bit first, right? So I think that would become $1. So if I replace just the first one, we ended up with perfect n equals 48 in place of. Okay, all right, that's not bad. Then we want to search. Then we want to do another new line, double space, open a TD. Wow, this is a monster regex, isn't it? Can I make this any larger? Toggle replace mode. Find in selection. This is a. I feel like I might even just take this out for a second whilst I write this. Okay, so we're going to want to find a TD. Then we're going to want to say finding. Oh, but then I don't get it auto updating. Let's do it up here. It's fine. I don't need the whole thing visible. So we're opening a TD, and then we want anything, but only as far as close TD. Then another new line, and an open TD. Then this is digits, so then anything that is 0 to 9, as long as there's at least one of it. Then a close TD, then a new line, double space. Anyone fallen asleep yet? Then anything followed by a close TD. Oh, new line, double space. Why? Oh, I see. I don't think we need that last bit. So I think that can be an open TD, followed by a closed TD, followed by a new line, followed by, I guess this could be another one where we don't really care, followed by a new line, and finally a closed TR. Wow. Yeah, okay, sorry, I know people are falling asleep in the stream, but I wrote, that's a chunky bit of regex. Look at that, boom. Okay, so the moment of truth will be that this will just work, right? This is, as soon as there's going to be no bugs, this is going to work first time. Right? You all believe me, right? Shall I be bold and do the whole lot in one go? Streamlabs. Streamlabs is what is Streamlabs saying? A poll is going on for which project would you like to see more of? Oh, I forgot about that thing. Oh, that's probably old. Yeah. Instead of voting, just shout at me. Just say no, we want to see more of this. Okay, I'm going to hit the button. Alright. It worked in some cases. So it worked for the first 5. Then it failed on number 44. Ah, you know why? because there was something in that second to last TD. So I'm gonna undo that, and then here, instead of assuming that this TD is always going to be empty, we'll allow it to have anything or nothing in it. Okay, boom. Okay, it worked all the way down to 38, and then 37 didn't work. Why? There's a tab. I mean, the lazy way of fixing that would be I could just replace all the tabs with double spaces, but because we're regexing to the max here, oh no, I know, I you know, I'm definitely just gonna replace all the tabs with double spaces. I can't go through and do that all just with a giant regex. Is too painful. Okay, so quickly we're going to replace all tabs with double spaces, which is definitely not cheating. Then we're going to go back, take this monster of a regex. A friend of mine once wrote a small programming language with a regex parser. One day maybe I'll get him to talk about that. Maybe it'll be in therapy. Worst thing is that language is in production. But we won't talk about that. Right. What didn't work? Something didn't work. I thought it was the double spaces that were throwing it. Okay, so this matches. Hey, look, there's a big old orange thing over here that tells us when it fails. So I can just take a look at that. That's much easier, isn't it? All right, let's play the regex game. So we're opening a TR and there's a new line in there. I mean, maybe that's the first assumption. Yeah, no, that's fine. Then we are expecting a new line, a TD, some numbers, a closed TD, a new line, some spaces, another TD, a bunch of stuff. Fine, closed TD, new line, spaces, some numbers, closed TD, new line, some spaces, a TD, anything we want, a TD, or a closed TD. New line. Just when I lost concentration, that's where the bug will be. So let's start from the back. So we've got a closed TR, new line. Man, what's this? What's this? What is that? I decided I just didn't care. Okay, I'm gonna take a copy of all of this. Then I'm just gonna start hitting return until it matches. Ah. Okay, so it's that last /n. Something about that. I wonder if some crazy. I wonder if there's like a new line and a return, a carriage return in there. Bit of Windows fun. I wonder if I can turn that on as a visibility thing. Render white space. Render control characters. Well, I feel like control characters wasn't the magic I was hoping it would be. Okay. Maybe I could do something in here. No. Render white space. So I guess if I hit delete and then return, and I hit delete and I hit return, I didn't magically fix it either. Well, let's try that. Let's see what. Whoa. That's not good. Control Z. Let's go back. Let's put a new line on the end of here. Try that again. See what looks out of place. See what is broken. So for some reason it didn't match the last one. We can do manually. I don't like to do anything manually, including reading the manual apparently. Thank you again, GreyGit, for doing that for us. 2 sup 2 -1, some digits. It's only got 1 digit. No one knows when it was discovered, so great. That's that one sorted. And then here we've just got a bunch of TRs that I think need to be replaced. You know what, just for fun, I'm gonna paste this horrible thing into the stream. There we go. It's going in the stream. There you go. It can live on now. Well, at least as long as Twitch keeps its videos. So now we could search for TR and a new line. Replace that with precisely nothing. Great. Okay, so we have 50 lines of joy. Do I sound joyous? Should we... I was going to say, should we reverse those, but perhaps not. Oh, hang on. This. We're not quite there yet. We're not quite there. Let's control... let's bring that back. Bring that back. And then go back to the actual content. Z. Just one more, Control Z. Okay. Okay. So what we want to do is the number itself. We want to say we're okay with it being a string. Then replace all. Then we go through, manually replace the final one. So this is n1, 2 to the power of 1. Digits is 1. Get rid of that. Joy. And then, yeah, we were going to get rid of this horrible new lines thing. Close TR thing. We don't need anything to sit in its place. Let's take that, get it in the perfect vector thing. I use the word thing a lot. It's not good, right? Something. Cool. Just what we always wanted. 50 lines of highlighted code. That's quite bright. Okay, so now we're also going to want to change... Oh, hang on a second. Are we going to break everything by changing P to be one of these? Is this suddenly going to break our definition and it's going to go, oh, I need you to specify... No? No, it's okay with that. I am surprised. Let's build. Let's build and let's wait for this to refresh. Feel like that didn't refresh. Of course. That would have been too easy, wouldn't it? I vaguely remember the library that we're using, the seed library. I vaguely remember that that has a function we can call. I guess we would have to call here. That will convert that all to HTML. In fact, it's more than vague. It's probably still the case on this format page. Yeah, look at this. We can use this thing, element HTML, element from HTML. So what am I doing? Why am I doing it? Here, so I can say what can I say? Okay, so that's trying to superimpose it already. Hang on. So all of these are starting with 2. Then it's superimposing. This is very wrong. This is very wrong. Get rid of that. Should I commit to say we put the perfects in? Actually, let's commit. Let's commit. Let's be good. Git commit. -m. Added 50 perfect structs in. No, they're not structs, are they? They're instances. Into vector. Good stuff. Alright. And we can push that up to GitHub, because obviously we're going to be really precious about that code. And should there be a hazardous fire and my laptop blew up on us, then, or computer in this case blew up on us, then, you know, now it's safe. Now we won't lose that code. Okay, element from HTML, and we don't need to superimpose anything, and we don't need any of that. And we need to close that bracket, I think. Bit of luck, that'll get rid of the syntax error. Will it? Will it? Won't it? No, of course it didn't. Why not? Converts the given value. Mismatched types. I guess it's already a string. So I probably don't need to convert it to a string. So it'll come out as a borrowed string. Yay. Let's run that. This should refresh, and then this should look vaguely correct, except strangely, well, not that strangely, everything is reversed because there's a HTML reverse in here. So now we can let's break this into a couple of different commits. So we're committing to say, first of all, fixed malformed HTML. Fixed malformed sup HTML. True, we did. Then we're going to get rid of this HTML reverse. Oh, that was so weird. I've got my little phone screen with the chat resting on the actual screen that you can see, and for some reason I tried to move the mouse cursor from this screen down onto my phone, and then was confused when it didn't happen. Wow, maybe I need to take a break. So we removed vector reversal code. We did, right? We did that. Let's push this. Check this all still works. So hopefully we'll see 50 up top. Yeah, 50 up top. I guess these links are probably wrong. Yeah, look at that. That's connecting to, I reckon that'll 404, yeah. I think that should be connecting to P50 maybe. Nope. P50.zip maybe. Nope. Okay. Let's go to the live site. Just check what's going on there. Let's just go to one of these. So what's this? Perfect. Oh, it's just like 44. Oh, and the URL, the link's toast anyway. I think it should be that. Yeah. Just what you always wanted. Another vast output. So we ditched the M. That's the solution to that. Git commit. Correct it. You know what? Actually, before I commit that, let's actually check it. Get off the live site. Yeah, we're on the local one. Give that a refresh. Give that a couple of refreshes. That's gonna probably still gonna 404. Maybe there's a zip file. Yeah, okay, so there's a zip file. So when do they stop being zip files and start being text files? 20, 30. Okay, so 30 works. 25, that works. 21, that doesn't work. 22, doesn't work. 23. What a brilliant stream this is. You get to see me count and type. 24. Okay, so it must be that they start at 25. Yeah. Okay, so I think this can be part of the same commit because we're essentially just fixing the downloads. Where is that? Okay, so if we are greater than or equal to 25, then we get a download zip. Otherwise, we get a download text. So let's go back a little bit. Hit the refresh. Oh, actually, we'll have to recompile. Let's do that quickly. So, excuse me, I choked on literally nothing. Let's try that again. Right. What? If n is greater than what is n? Oh, n is this. I think it should be this. That would make a lot more sense. Then it would work. Recompile. Also, I don't really like that perfects NN is we're using that throughout. Like, I think that needs a much better name. Feels like a bad bit of code. Not readable. Okay, so if I click that, we should get a zip file. We do. And just, I guess, to check the last one. Yeah, we get the zip file. And then number 24, we get a txt file. Okay, so that's fixed the downloads. So let's go back to our last commit. Now, did I actually run that commit? Let's do a git diff. Let's just check what we're actually. Okay, so we fixed those two download links, and we fixed the problem we were having with it swapping the text and the zip files, and we got the number right. Went from 30 to 25. So corrected text and zip download links. Boom. Get that pushed up as well. And yeah, this I kind of want to say what that is because it's not just looking at this, it's not immediately clear. Oh, I guess it doesn't matter. We're not here for style points. Okay, I think we can probably get rid of this. What's this? Render old. Render old. Oh yeah, this was the original HTML that we're replacing. Let's get rid of all of this. Goodbye. Yeah, get out of here. Okay, so now we should just have a render function. Do. Pretty sure that'll just work, but a bit more testing. Oh wow, it still says Mazen. Really need to fix that. Perfect numbers. That should say perfect table as well. What's that a reference to? So that's a CSS class. Somewhere here we've got a CSS file. Mazen table, perfect table. Just check we've got the yeah, best to copy and paste rather than guess that. Alright. There's nowhere else that says Mazen. Oh. Okay. commit that. Replaced word Mazen with perfect. Push that as well. Hang on, did I just commit deleting 500 odd things as... Did I just do 2 things in one commit? Yeah, I did. Can never remember the syntax for this. I think it involves using git head or something. Git undo last commit. Oh, and then I pushed it, didn't I? So I'm probably gonna have to do a force push now, which it might not let me do. How can I undo the last commit? Oh, it's fine. It's fine. It's not the worst commit in the world. Mistakes happen, right? So, are we done on this page? Are we happy with this? Let's have a look at Mazen. I just want to see what we've got in the way of tests going on here. So this calls things. So yeah, look, we've got a test in this file for calling some of them Mazen. So I think let's add just a quick test to the end of here. Oof. Gonna need a bit more syntax, I think. Yeah. And close parenthesis, and we're all good. Okay, so this is a perfect test, and we are testing perfect utils. Not very happy with that, is it? Perfects, utils, of course, it's plural. So we're testing that, and we're getting those replaced, and I think we're going to want to just grab, I guess we could test the digits, right? We could test a few of these. We could say the first digits should equal 1. Then something like the 10th, we could say should equal 0. Like that. Perfect utils. What's this on about? Perfect utils, perfect. Yeah, what's wrong with that? Mismatch types. Expected. Oh, because I've specified this over here, which makes no sense. So let's go back to here. That's our return type. And we take our return type. Cannot find type perfect in this scope. Fair enough. It is within that module. It's a bit noisy, isn't it? Use of undeclared lifetime variable. Oh, this again. Use of undeclared lifetime variable. Didn't we end up saying, if I remember rightly, GreyGit gave us some solid advice about that needing to go up in the corresponding function. There we go. Good. Now we can run tests. Cargo test. and of course it failed because this second assertion is definitely wrong. Definitely. So the left returned this, and we expected 1. Huh. Oh, of course, because it's returning the 50th one first. So this is the number it should return. And I guess 10 down would be 40. So let's rerun those tests. I reckon that'll probably work. Yep. Okay, so added unit tests. We added unit tests for perfect utils. Perfect. The thing is, those look like some flaky unit tests. And the reason I say that is, let's say there were more than 50 perfect numbers, because I think there are. So let's say there's 51. 51 perfect numbers. So let's add 50th perfect number. I don't know what that's got to do with anything. That's P. Oh, you know what? Maybe we should just record what P is instead of this huge string. Okay, let's do that. Let's do a couple of things. Let's get the 51st number added. Then we can fix this. So digits, 50 megabyte number. That's crazy. Absolutely crazy. So n was 51. Yes, let's not sidetrack ourselves too much with this. The first thing we need to do is make sure we make this test, or the test in a moment, less flaky. So we'll do that by adding 51 to this, and then probably seeing that it breaks. Discovery. This bunch of fine people discovered it in 2018. So no discoveries so far this year. Slacking. 2018. Ah, missing the word discovery. Get that in there. Okay, and let's take this. We'll fix this up in a second. We will. But one job at a time. So I think this is one more than the left number in every case. So let's take that and add 1 to it. 2p minus 1 versus 2p minus 1. Okay, fine. So we've added the 51st number. So let's run cargo test, because I think that's going to error. I think everything will be off kilter by 1. Yeah. So, but when we run the page, there's no point having this in another order and then reverse it. So I think we could probably just I'll nick the code, borrow the code from here where we reverse it. He says not being able to find. Yeah, there it is, reverse. So if we go back to perfects, I think if we reverse perfects and cannot borrow perfects as mutable as it is not declared mutable. Alright, fine. Well, let's make it mutable. Now it's editable. Cool, error be gone. Perfect.reverse. So yeah, now I think what I'm saying is the 50th, guess which would be 49, 39th are going to return those values. That's what I'm saying. Run cargo test. I'm expecting this to pass. Okay, that passed. Good stuff. For good measure, let's just check that it properly runs. Once this is compiled and run, I'm expecting the 51st thing to crop up here. Okay, and the zip file will unfortunately error because I haven't uploaded it, whereas the 50th one works just fine. And I don't care about that, I'm not going to fix it at the moment because I've got another idea in store for these zip files and these text files. I think instead of them being files on disk, I think we can generate those on the fly, which will save me many megabytes of storage, and anyone that clicks it, it will save them up to 50 megabytes of bandwidth. So what have we done? We've made the test less flaky and we've added the 50th prime. So we've done two things. 50th prime? No, 51st perfect number. There we go. Got there in the end. Git commit. What are we committing? We have added 51st perfect number and made test less flaky. Doesn't really tell us why. And made test less flaky by. It's a bad commit, but there we go. Feeling like a bad commit person today. Okay, so we did that. Then what's going on here? So yeah, then I wonder, instead of this being a string, if this went back to being a 64-bit number, then I think we could take this. So here, basically. Let's just duplicate the line so I know what it looked like before we started down this route. Make a string. So I think could be 2 superimposing I can see my brain just slowly melting as I try and articulate this into code. So let's put one of them. If we take this, so this would be p minus 1. So basically taking what we've got as a hard-coded formula up top, right? So let's just note that out for a second. And let the editor catch up. Okay, this is syntactically, I was going to say wrong, and it must be wrong. An component in our virtual DOM. Cool. I might submit a pull request to their crate a little bit later. An component. Everyone loves to receive good English pull requests, right? From HTML, so we got open string. Is that because this is? Of course, this was originally a string. So somewhere earlier we had. Okay, so let me just explain what's going on here. So this is a list of strings, but it's not defined as a list. They've just got a comma in front of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a vector. And that will probably get rid of the error. Maybe we need to get rid of one of these. No. What's wrong with that then? We've got a vector with a bunch of commas. Okay, this is getting difficult to read. Fair play, fair play. So let's take all of that. Let's take this out. I'm going to call this equation. And we're going to say... really, I should have broken this onto multiple lines ages ago. So we're going to say let equation equal. That'll let me get away without specifying a type. I'll be good. I'll specify a type. Yeah, fine. Except we want that to be a string. Oh, there's. See, now that we've broken it out onto its own line, it's a bit easier to figure out what's wrong. So we've got a number there. This is a number, and we're trying to access it as though it's a string. So we need to convert it. Mismatched types. Expected a borrowed string, but found first a number, now a full-on string. Would have expected that to fix. Okay, that's fixed. Now we're going to have the same problem over here. Let's take this, except we don't need the -1 over here. Hit save. Okay. Let's mismatch types. Yeah, okay, so let's just borrow that equation. I think that'll be all of the syntax errors. Yep, okay. Let's just see what happens when we run this now. Of course. 64 errors. So the reason for that is because this has been specified as a 64-bit integer, but this is now not 64-bit integer. So what we need to do could write a quick bit of regex. Either that or do this 50 times. So that bit I can at least get rid of. Lots of clicking, sorry. If I replace all, I'm going to replace one too many. Cool. Then this could probably be a regex. So we want to find 2 superimposed with, you know what, anything. And then we have 2 and a superimposed and a close. So I think that will replace all of those. And what I want to do then is I want to search for dot star, and I want to replace this. So we search for that and we replace with $2, because it's the second of these regex matches that we want, this one here. $2, comma. There's 52 of these. How can there be 52? Oh, because it's matched that. Okay. So this should be beginning with 74, ending with 81. Okay. All right. That seems okay. and I'll just manually fix the first one. Cool, I think that's actually in pretty good shape now. Let's try running that again. See how it comes out. I'm going to compare it against the live site as well. Too many E's. So okay, so this looks about right. 77917, 77917. Digits 4, 6, and 50. 4, 6, and 50. All right, I am happy with that. I think we could probably stamp finished on this page. And that's reasonably good. I mean, we've been quite strict with not repeating ourselves with the data. This is now fairly horrible looking equation, but at least it's an equation. Yeah, let's check our unit tests still work. One hour 41 without any crashes, so it looks like our blue screen thing might be solved. So what did we do? We replaced strings, or replaced HTML duplication with better struct, stricter struct, I would say actually, with stricter struct and equation variable. Push that up. Okay, so I think we can also say that this is now fixed by this. Go back to issues. Right, can I possibly be bothered to do any more on that? Can we really stomach another one of those pages being converted? I don't think we can. So let's do something a bit more interesting next. So that's pushed. Let's just check on the build, and then I think I would like to look at either replacing some of our SVG downloads with probably creating that on the fly, or these text and zip downloads. That'd be pretty neat actually. If we can replace one of those on the fly, that'd be really cool. Yeah, that'd be pretty neat. Save a bit of money on downloads as well. So what am I trying to do? Where am I going? Pull requests, that's where I'm going. See if we got any green ticks next to these. Oh, we do. Did we manage to improve? Oh, and we've improved our code coverage. Look at that. Win-win. We've gone from fairly terrible to slightly less terrible, to 2% better code coverage. And actually, that was up here. That was 2 hours ago. Since then, we've done all of these. And here's adding unit tests. Cool. I think this is going to be updated with quite a bit more code cov. Okay, we'll leave that to run. And I guess now is a good time to take a 5-minute break. So what I'll do is during that 5-minute break, I'll give a chance for these builds to run, and then we'll merge them, assuming they come up green. Notice a few here are not coming up green. Huh. Okay, maybe I won't take a break just yet. Let's see why this is erroring. Okay, well that's simple. They just all got cancelled because of a later build. Probably this one. Yeah. Okay, I think we'll get some green ticks in a bit. Okay, yeah, so back to my original plan. 5-minute break, maybe 10-minute break. And then we'll come back and we'll try and do something potentially with the zip downloads or the text downloads. Getting rid of those would be a very different type of problem to solve. So let me put myself on my back soon screen, and you can. I was going to say you can slowly watch as it updates the status of big primes, but it hasn't done that, has it? It's just saying that the last build was like 20 hours ago. I know you can hear me, by the way. I know you can all hear me whilst I'm still on this hold screen. Just want to give you something to do for 5 minutes, you know. Maybe maybe it'll let me refresh this page. Refresh cache of current page. Done. Wow. Just maybe it's not including pull requests. That must be what it is. Well, anyway, I will be back in 5. Right, I've returned. I've left it on the holding screen though, just for a second, because I kind of want to fix the holding screen. This browser thing. Wouldn't it be neat if it did something a bit more useful? But it doesn't. Curious. I'm guessing if I go to a... Yeah, okay, I'm just going to leave that. So let's switch back to me. Hello. Yeah, okay, we've got a couple of green ticks now. And this has been running a little while. We've got some green, and something that's not so green. Once that is good to go, then we can deploy this and see things have got a bit better on the production site. So, just going to do something. Code carve, that's what I was going to do. We got there in the end. Wow, a lot of branches. Not what I was after. Like this hasn't yet changed. 30.8. 30.8. Maybe we're in. Maybe we should have a look at this poll. 2.8% improvement. I mean, you'd imagine the fact that we actually added unit tests for a start, because there weren't any, and the fact that we took out like 200 or 300 lines of hard-coded HTML, surely would improve coverage. Versus relative change. Oh, sorry, I've just realised I haven't actually got chat open anymore. That's silly of me. Oh, by the way, I understand, Alex, you might be watching. You should say something if you are. Right, let's refresh. Can't believe code cover is taking 5 minutes to run. Sorry, I think my voice is just starting to go. I don't know why. It's not like I've been, you know, wildly flailing and shouting while something's not working. I've been quiet and reserved, so I don't know why my voice is going. But it is. Okay, so that's run code carve. So now pretty soon we should get a green tick. Just need that. Okay, I'm tired of staring at code carve. Don't need that. Okay, that's green. So that's green. All is green. Maybe try the flailing and shouting, says Tom. Yeah, I mean that could be one way to cure it, right? Bit of flailing, bit of energy. Merge pull request. I think we're gonna do that. I think I want to see this deployed. Yeah. Oh, you know what? I was gonna edit this because there's a whole bunch of other stuff. Let's edit that first of all. So, refactored refactored perfects page to have structs and tests. Improved code coverage. Oh, hello. How you doing? I've forgotten. Sorry, I've forgotten how to pronounce your username. Is it Vuren or Varen? Vuren. Hello again. How are you doing? I think it's probably been a week. I think I was online. I was online last Sunday. Can't remember. I was hoping to do some evenings this week, but you know, life gets in the way. Life gets in the way. Vuren. Excellent. Okay, Vuren. That's an easy one. Yeah, it's definitely been a week. I think I did a little bit of stuff off stream as well. So what did I end up doing? Oh, I can show you in a second actually. Let me update this commit. Hit this confirm merge and let that do its thing. Delete that branch and go back to master. I'll do that in a second. Yeah, so loads of stuff's happened. We've ended up doing compressed deploys now, so the WebAssembly now gets gzip compressed as part of the actual. If I head back to current, I can show you. Maybe it's build history. Yeah. So as part of this, when we run deploy, it's going to take a while to do its thing, but yeah, we're now using a third-party tool written in C++ for optimizing the WebAssembly, and also then gzipping the result. I can show you in Travis. So there's us gzipping the WASM file, and somewhere up here we use this WASM optimizer. And you know, as joyous as it is hearing me explain it, you know, you've really got to see it to believe it. What that means is instead of having that 1.3 or 1.4 meg download whenever someone views the website, I think we're down to like 400k, and it runs faster because it's been optimized as well. So here, get rid of that. Hard refresh. Yeah, 356k. So that's probably the main thing. And then the rest has just been loads of bug fixes. And I thought, what a cool thing to be doing now. Oh yeah, and there was that horrible HTML code. I think we've still got one somewhere. Yeah, here's one. Look at this. This is shocking stuff. That's 2,593 characters of horrible. So there's still one of those left, but we spent a chunk of time on this stream fixing that. So yeah, we've now ended up with nice bit of layout, some good structs being used. Anyway, let's close that. We're done with perfects, we're done with formats, we're done with mezens. What aren't we done with? Yes, and I thought what would be neat is on some of these pages, I guess format would probably be the easiest thing first of all, right? So we've got these huge format numbers, we've got these text downloads. Huh, didn't expect that. I'm not sure what I expected, but I didn't expect that. That first one's busted. Definitely a very fun line. Yeah, what a beaut that was. So I'm not gonna spend any more time boring everybody with rewriting that line. We did it once for perfect, and I think that probably took me an hour. So maybe I'll do Mazen another day, or whatever page it was, format, doesn't matter. But yeah, what I thought would be neat to do now is these text files. So you can see these are actually text files, right? They're sat on a separate subdomain. Yes. I think it would be neat if we could get WebAssembly to do a file download on the fly. It would be like, I say neat, it would be genuinely cost saving. Because by the time you get to some of these files, they're like 20 or 30 megabyte files, but actually it's just a formula. So in theory, yeah, right, it's a long bit of crunching, but if somebody waits 10 seconds for their browser to crunch that number instead of downloading 40 megs of data, they'll probably appreciate it. But I don't even know where to begin. So I'm just thinking, I think we have to go back to some of the basics on this. So we've got, is it lib? I think it might be lib. So this is a file I don't think I've actually cracked open on this stream. So this is the first page, right? This is the first file in our Rust project. Loads up the seed crate, which is the framework we're using for generating all the HTML. We define our different pages in here. We define a page model, so each page has a unique URL. Guess we must be using this somewhere. Page. Don't know where we're using that. I don't know where we're using this actually. There might be some unused code in here. Just reading your message. Yeah, no worries. I should be back online. I'll probably be back online tomorrow. Might not be on this project though. I really want to start a game in Rust. And so maybe that's what we'll start tomorrow. But yeah, cheers. Have a good one. Catch you next time. So yeah, this update, is this even used? Oh, okay, we're specifying it here. This must be when we click links to change pages. Wild guess number one. Then we define a bunch of pages. Sure that this is necessarily used. It says it's for routing. That's implementing toString for the page object. Fine. I remember this mess was the actual routing. So for instance, when you're loading up the format page, it figures out the first bit's archive, then you've got /format, and then whatever, please load up or please run the format archive page, which is then defined all the way up here somewhere. Where is it? Format archive. No. Yes. Here, I think. Then it loads up the actual class. So in this case, the page's archive format render function. Cool. Yeah, no, a game does sound like fun. I think I should probably probably stop boring people with numbers. There's only so much we can do to this website before it's so massively over-engineered that yeah. I guess at least with this we've now got we've got a solid build pipeline, solid tests, and optimization and compression as part of our build pipeline. So when we do make a game in Rust and maybe WebAssembly, we've got all of that. Just copy and paste, right? Anyway, so yeah, this is all about changing pages and strings, but how can we get this framework? Rust seed framework. there anything in here about downloads? Let's have a look. They've got an example where you click a button and a counter goes up on a page, but I think we might be a bit beyond that now. Building and running. Why not use this? Stick with JavaScript, glue. Seed has API docs, great. I don't need local storage. So I'm guessing macros are all about HTML elements. But what if there was like a file macro? Nope. Or a download macro? Nope. Yeah, so these are all just, these are all HTML elements as macros, which is fine. That's not a problem. Functions, documents. Keyboard events, mouse events. So is this the sort of thing where I'm going to be totally stuck for an hour on stream? See all of, oh, hello. See what we've got. So file would be the first thing to search for. Download. What else? Files, downloads. Don't know. Okay. How about then? What else was on? I had a written list of things we could tackle as well. We got to the end of it. All right, hear me out. Hear me out. He says, joking again. How about we call it a day on Big Primes and we start that 3D project today? I think that could be a bit neat. Let's do that. Then I can just tidy up what we've got going on here, right? So we can go back to master. And deletes bug fixes. Let's just delete our local copy of that. Great, good stuff. And this is still going. That's fine. We just leave this to do its own thing. Forget about that. And this will become a different. Excuse me. This will become a different app in a minute, I guess. You can ignore that. And guess we can close this project and open up a whole new project. How do we want to get hold of that project? I guess we want to clone it, really. Let's do that. So let's go to GitHub, start a new project. I'll tell you what. I'm gonna deliberately stop and start the stream, and the reason for that is then we can say jobs are good on Big Primes. Having browsed Big Primes, job for the future, number cruncher page should calculate primes to more than 2 digits. Yeah, right. Okay, let me do that then. Let me just quickly create a ticket for that. I'll do that. And then I'll end the stream and restart the stream with a new name, because we'll be tackling. Yeah, it's true. We should do that. Issues. Have we got anything in here about it already? No, 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 no. We do not. Okay. Prime checker should easily manage more than 2 digits. 10 digits, surely? Currently, this is limited to 2, and the functions are pretty, well, let's not say they're terrible. I mean, I can be self-critical. Are very inefficient. Cool. You happy with that, Grey Git? Again, your name, not mine. You happy with that? Prime checker should easily manage more than 2 digits. Yep. Good. Submitting new issue. I don't think it's a bug, but it is definitely an enhancement. I don't think it would be a good first issue. So go back to issues. Right, we're good. Okay, I am going to restart the stream. So I will be back in like 10 seconds. Famous last words, 10 seconds.